Why are you quitting real estate?
I just felt like there was no need for me here. It's so weird to think about. It took me a really long time for me to stabilize the systems and processes that we had in my wholesale business and my rental business, that they didn't need me here. And I just felt like, what's my next move?
So what are you going to do now since you sold all your rental portfolio?
I literally don't know what to do.
Oh my God, you sold everything and you don't know what to do?
I literally...
Welcome to the Wealthy Investor Podcast, the #1 podcast for flippers, wholesalers, and real estate entrepreneurs. And today on the podcast, we have a creative finance specialist, someone that built a $13 million rental portfolio, I think in a year. And today he's going to share why he's quitting sub 2 in real estate and taking his business in a new direction. Kevin Choe.
Hey.
How's it going, baby?
Good to see you. It's my third time on this podcast. I'm like super excited.
I know. You're almost like the #1 guest I've ever had.
Really?
Yeah.
You've had a guest more than once?
I've had Ryan on a few times. I've had Dakota Bailey on a few times. Had another guy named Michael Smith from Columbus, Ohio a few times. Yeah. So you're getting up there.
Oh, all right.
So why are you quitting real estate?
Well, we're getting straight into it, huh?
Yeah, we're getting straight into it.
Okay. Well, I love this. I love this podcast. One of the reasons why I love your podcast is because you like literally have no filter on your guest.
That's the biggest compliment I get is I ask, some people are like, yeah, we make about $13 million. I was like, but what did you net?
Yeah.
And they're like,
Yeah, no, I was listening to the podcast with Cody, and you're like, so how much did you make when you're 21, 22, 23, 24, all the way to 30?
Yeah.
And I was like, this is actually really good because you go, like, Cody was making good money, and then he lost it all when he was 21, and then he's built it back up.
Yeah.
And like you see the progression of, okay, he was making like 400 grand, and then in a year, he went to 7 figures.
Yeah.
I'm like, wow. Like, so what changed between like any other year versus that year?
Exactly.
And we need to figure out what he did that year.
Exactly. Because I like, honestly, what people should know about this podcast, especially if it's their first time viewer, is I'm treating this as coaching.
Yeah.
Like I am low-key getting free coaching from the top investors in the whole country.
Right.
Like, so I'm not just trying to entertain, like I'm trying to learn and teach the real. I don't want like the fluff. I want like what happened. Like how much did he say he ended up making? Like $4 million or something like that?
Like that year?
Yeah.
Yeah, somewhere in the 4 million. Yeah.
Yeah. Like I want to learn how to net $4 million a year.
Yeah.
His gross was like, I think like 50 or something like that.
Yeah, 30 to 40.
Yeah, 30, 40, something like that. Like I want to learn how to make $4 million a year.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I'm sure you would too. That's like $300,000 a month.
Yeah.
It's pretty good.
That's a good amount.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, but why are you quitting real estate?
I think okay, I wasn't prepared for this question, but but I think I'm just not making enough money.
Ooh.
I really don't think I'm making enough money for the work that I'm putting in, and I don't necessarily call it quitting just yet, but I got to figure out what direction I need to take, because I look at okay, so like obviously you know, you were talking about like you were making 30, 40 grand before you got into real estate.
Yeah.
And then I'm like, yeah, in a year.
Yeah.
And then I'm like, okay, well, my first year in real estate, I think I made like 20 grand. And then the second year in real estate, I almost cleared 6 figures. And then third, fourth, and going into fifth year, like the last 2 years, I've cleared 6 figures easily, you know? And I'm like, I don't know. I just don't know what else to. Number one, it's kind of repetitive.
Oh yeah.
Right. Like you're kind of doing a very similar thing. Like when you're flipping a house, I'm sure there are limited things you're going to run into, right?
Yeah, same thing.
Like especially when I'm doing creative finance deal, like I've done a lot of subject to deals, a lot of seller finance deals, and you run across the same, you know, objections, same problems, same problems that like doesn't get me excited anymore.
Yeah.
So so not only am I not getting enough stress that stimulates me from the day-to-day side of things, because I've actually scaled out of my business. I'm not really involved in it anymore. And then also like I'm only like making like 25 grand a month. Like,
okay.
Which is back 2 years ago, if 2-3 years ago, if I were to tell that to myself, I'd be ecstatic if I made 25 grand a month.
Yeah.
But then now it's like, it's not that I want to figure out how to make $1 million. Like that's been my question for about 3 months now.
$1 million a year or $1 million a month?
$1 million a year.
Yeah. Well, let's go into it. So how are you making $25K a month?
A lot of it, that's just my real estate wholesale business.
Oh, that's your wholesale business.
Yeah.
What about your rentals?
Well, I actually, and that's another thing is I actually got bought out on all my rentals.
So you sold all your rentals.
I sold all my rentals.
Why?
Because number one, my partner wanted to buy me out. So all the rentals that I bought is subject to seller finance. And then I own 50% of it for bringing the deal to the table, and then also raising the money for it. And then I had a partner who did all the management, like with midterm rentals, short-term rentals. And then she just got married, and she was like, well, what would it look like if my husband were also to be part of it? And then we weren't really like paying ourselves that much. Mm-hmm. Like, to be totally transparent, we only paid ourselves $2,500 for the entire 14 month of our partnership.
Total or a month?
$2,500 total, 14 months. It was like a couple $100 a month, if that.
Jeez.
And it's not because we weren't making money, but because we were just buying so many in such a short period of time, so that like all the reserves we would just go back into, to real estate to stabilize all the houses. So like I'm like, if like it's gonna be forever until I actually see a significant amount of profit from this.
Yeah.
Right. Because we also leveraged a lot of debt. Like, right. So like if it was a seller finance with 10% down, like we get 90% financing from the seller, but then we also borrow the 10% from the other other lenders that we had.
Yeah.
So like we not only did we have a lot of mortgages, but we also had a lot of private money loans that, even though we were cash flowing a lot, in order for us to pay all of that off, especially the private money loans, like $800,000 in private money loans, it was going to be at least 8 to 10 years.
Damn.
And that's before we even pay off the mortgage. So
yeah, I think so. This is what I've learned. With rentals,
I think I know what you're gonna say.
Like, it's extremely hard to make net money, especially life-changing net money.
Yeah.
With rental properties.
Right.
I don't care what any guru says.
Yeah.
All the gurus that have all these rental properties that are like pitching you rental properties make way more money from coaching.
Oh, for sure.
Than they do from their actual rental portfolio.
Yeah.
I know I get so many multifamily guys that try to come on this podcast that they make tons of money from coaching, and they make literally nothing from their actual properties.
The multifamilies or the single families?
The multifamily.
Really?
Yeah. So a lot of the multifamily guys that come on here, like, I ask them, how I'm always like, how much do you net? How much do you net?
Yeah.
They don't answer, or they say they don't know.
Yeah.
Only a couple say nothing. I think Brandon Turner was one of the only ones who's like, dude, like, I make $1 billion. He has like $1 billion rental portfolio. He makes nothing from his rentals.
I found out that the hard way, I guess.
Yeah. You should have been watching this podcast. You would have been like, hey, like, why aren't these guys?
No, I want to figure it out myself.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
But because like people say they make all this money, but then like, okay, well, what if I make it a lot of money? And actually, I do want to say this. We weren't doing long-term rentals.
Yeah.
We were doing midterm rentals. So we were actually cash flowing at least like $500 a month on a house. Like we would rent out a house $4,500. I would rent out for $2,200.
Yeah.
So we were actually cash flowing, but then the downside is I'm carrying all this debt.
Oh yeah.
So much debt.
Yeah, you're accumulating a whole bunch of debt.
Right.
And you weren't buying them below market value, were you?
No, I wasn't.
That's another thing. That's another reason why I personally am not the biggest fan of buying houses at market value. Right. Even if I get a good deal on a subject to, potentially I would do it on a seller finance if there's no interest.
Right.
But I mean, you can do that, but you have to have some sort of active income to live off of, because buying those properties like that, there's like, how the hell are you going to make a living? Yeah.
And what happens is you can't even exit this.
No, you can't.
You can't sell it.
Yeah. So what a lot of people are doing is they're just defaulting on their deals.
Yeah.
I've heard about that a lot, that a lot of people are defaulting on deals.
Yeah. A lot of people are defaulting on the mortgages that they took over, or the seller finance notes, and they're defaulting on the because they're over leveraged. They're defaulting on the down payment, private money loan.
Yeah.
I've never defaulted on a loan. I have great relationship with my lenders.
Yeah.
We paid everything on time.
Yeah.
But something about like once I got to like $600,000-$700,000 in private money loan, I was like, oh my gosh, this is getting real.
Yeah. Like you're playing with fire.
Oh, yeah.
You are literally like private money is like fire, right? You could cook with it.
Yeah.
You could also burn a house down.
Oh yeah.
And just to be clear, I'm not just talking about people defaulting on their sub 2 loans.
Yeah.
I know people defaulting on private loans that they got for flips.
Right.
So it's not just sub 2. I believe the real estate market is literally going through a cleansing right now. I don't know about you, but I know a lot of people that are exiting the business that have been in real estate for years.
It's
Have you seen that?
I actually never, I never really paid attention to it.
Okay. Well, I think I pay attention to it because I'm coaching or was coaching a lot of these people. So like I've seen them go up and then they go off and do their own thing and we don't hear from them. And then they come back like, hey, like I made a mistake.
Yeah.
And I'm like, dude, you should have been talking to me this whole time instead of like. Another life lesson is like when people start going through stuff, they start secluding themselves.
Oh yeah.
They they don't show up to church. They don't show up to the coaching calls. They're just like, because they're embarrassed and they're going through it.
Yeah. Yeah. So it was a big realization moment. But I do want to say this because most people are hating on the fact that I was over leveraged, and like I have a couple of guys in Phoenix that's like, well, you don't want to be over leveraged, but like my defense was always, okay, well, you have a straight debt, you have a straight, as long as your income's consistent and you can pay all these debts every single month, that's fine. But it was just, I think it was like more of my personal
mental health,
but it was like my risk tolerance.
Yeah,
like when I have like now that I got bought out of this, I have no debt. Like I have zero debt. I have no house, no car payment.
You're like Dave Ramsey.
Oh yeah, Dave Ramsey. Well, I don't want to go that. I don't want to be that like that.
No
safe.
credit score.
Yeah. I have credit. I have access to money. But when you have like $800,000 in private money loans, it is scary.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah, and then plus $13 million in mortgage loans. That's also a lot. So that's the moment that I was like, okay, well let me slow this down and see how I can maneuver around it, and then that's when my partner and I had a conversation and I got bought out.
Okay, so I want to go into what you're going to do now that you quit real estate, but I want to go through the decision making process because I feel like to me that is like what stops people from becoming successful or staying broke is like their decision making process. So I always say the level of success that someone reaches is directly correlated with the amount of risk they're willing to take or the amount of hard decisions they're willing to make. So some people have a job, they make 30, 50K a year. They could go do real estate, but they're just afraid to make that decision, right? They get stuck. Yeah. So when did you start having the idea like, hey, I think I'm going to start to sell? And what was that like?
The dollar amount was around $600,000 in private money loans, but the idea of me selling was when everything was going really well, like you look. I mentioned briefly that my wholesale business was very automated. Yeah, and I had nothing to do with that business, and it was generating me at least $20,000 a month. Mm-hmm. Like I wouldn't even get phone calls from my partners. I had systems in place, and then even like all the rentals that I had, my partner was responsible for everything. Mm-hmm. All the tenants, all the cleaning out, whatever renovations, my partner took care of all that. I just felt like there was no need for me here. Mm. It's so weird to think about because it took me a really long time for me to stabilize the systems and processes that we had in my wholesale business and my rental business, that they didn't need me here, and I just felt like, what am I gonna do? What's my next move? Mm-hmm. So that's when the thought of, okay, I kind of want to just get bought out and do something else. I want to do something that's gonna stimulate me, that's gonna excite me.
But why wouldn't you just keep it if you're not putting any time into it?
That's what everybody was saying.
Yeah.
But I'm like, just the fact that it's just lingering around in the back of my mind. Yeah. And it can potentially bite me in the back. Right. Let's just say like I have a great relationship with my partner still to this day. But what if 2 years down the road we have all these rentals, something happens to our partner, and then I have all this stuff going on, and now I have to come back and figure out I'm like, let's just clean my hands.
Okay. So when was that?
This was like June.
June.
Yeah.
Okay.
June of 2024.
24.
Yeah.
Okay, so this is like 3 months ago.
Yeah,
4
3 months
ago.
ago. Yeah, it was very recent.
Okay, and then you talk to your partners.
Yeah.
And you're like, hey, so what kind of deal did you work out?
Yeah, so my partner wanted to, and I didn't even know this. I just kind of brought it up on a phone call that we have, and she's like, "Oh yeah, I'm just letting you know if you want to get bought out, I've always had the thought of buying you out. I just never brought it up." So I was like, "Okay, then interesting." So so I was kind of still on the fence. I'm like, should I get bought out? Should I not? It would obviously have to depend on the numbers and the thing is, we bought all these rentals. 28 rentals in 14-month time frame, all subject to all seller finance. Really good, like zero. I have like handful of 0% seller finance deals in there. I'm like, I don't want to let these go. We also have 2-3% sub 2 deals. So, but then the only thing was we bought it so recently that we didn't have any equity. So we just kind of figured out all the equity that we had, which was like only $500,000 across 28 rentals. It was like literally nothing. And we just split that in half. And I said, well, just give me $250,000. And because it was so recent and it kind of came up out of nowhere, she's like, I don't have $250,000 just sitting aside to pay you out right now. So we did a 0% seller finance note. So I sold my 50% of the ownership of the LLC to my partner on seller finance. It was $250. The exact number was $254. I got a $50,000 down payment, and then I get $5,000 a month for next 24 months, and then I get a balloon payment at the end. So I get $50,000 down, and then $60,000 a year, and then I get an $80,000 like lump sum.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah. So and then my first payment doesn't even start till December.
Dang.
Yeah. Well, I make sure, like, my partner had everything stabilized, and I structured it where she was, I didn't put her in a tough spot like financially.
Yeah. That's nice of you.
Yeah. So I'm back to zero. Like, and then that's when the thought of, okay, well, now that I've sold all my rentals, which wasn't in Phoenix, like I don't need to be here in Phoenix anymore. So I subleased my apartment out. I sold my car, and then moving to New York on Thursday.
Really?
Yeah.
You're moving to where on Thursday?
New York City.
New York City. Got it. Where are you going to live at?
Manhattan.
Dang.
Yeah.
Why did you move there?
I've always wanted to live in New York, but I just never found the right timing for it. I guess. Got
it.
Yeah.
Okay.
But no connections out there. Just kind of. I love to start from scratch.
Yeah. You're how old are you?
I just turned 24.
Oh yeah, you're young, dude. You can do whatever you want.
I don't know. I feel like I'm getting older and older, but
no, 24. I feel like people don't fully mature, in my opinion. And obviously, there's like different, ranges. Yeah. But I feel like when people turn 26, I feel like that's usually when I see them start to like really mature.
Yeah.
Not saying that you're immature,
right?
But I'm saying like I feel like that's when life changes.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I feel like that's the difference between like a 16-year-old and like an 18-year-old. There's a little bit of a difference, but we'll see. But so what are you going to do now since you sold all your rental portfolio?
Well, that's why I'm here to talk to you.
Oh, okay. This is good.
I literally don't know what to do.
Oh my God, you sold everything and you don't know what to do? Hey guys, quick break from the podcast. First of all, thank you for listening to the Wealthy Investor Podcast. Also, I want you to know in the description of this video, there is a link. If you want to do deals with me in Las Vegas, California, or anywhere in the country, go to the link in the description, fill out the information. If you fill that out, you'll get access to the deals that we're wholesaling. I can also fund a deal and partner with you, or I offer one-on-one coaching. So if you want me to help you get your first deal, or help you scale your business, just go to the link of the description. Now let's get back to the podcast.
You don't know what to do. I mean, a great hook for the. Here's the thing: is I can always build a single family portfolio from scratch, right? Like if you lost everything, you go flip a house.
Yeah, make wholesale flip house.
Yeah, like you know what to do. So like for me, if worst comes to worst, I'll just go build, $13 million portfolio all over again. But like I don't want to do that anymore. I want to make like ridiculous amount of money. Active. I could care. I don't even care about passive income anymore.
Oh yeah, like passive income's dead. If you're watching this, passive income is gone. I can't say the D word because we might get censored, but it's gone.
Yeah. Like because I know and this is me like being in the entrepreneur, having my own business for almost 6 years now. I know I'm not gonna stop working, so like why do I focus on passive income for only $300-400 a month? Let me just go make, let me just go do a wholesale deal. Or let me just go big chunk of cash that's actually that I can actually do some damage with.
And this is literally what I've been saying for years and years and years. When everyone's like, I'm buying these houses, and I'm like, but how much money do you make? That's all. Before this podcast, I've always been like, how do I make the most amount of money net?
Right now.
Yeah. I want to make money right now. Yeah. And I understand that there is a time and a place to buy rentals, but I believe it's after you start making a bunch of money, not before. So people would tell me like, yeah, I had a guy at one of our wealth cons. He was like, yeah, I own 300 rentals. He was kind of trying to flex on me a little bit. I was like, that's cool. I was like, how much do you make from it?
You asked him.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. You already know.
Can we make a shirt like how much do you actually make? All cap on the actual.
Yeah. All cap on the actual. So I was like, how much do you like make from those? He was like, oh, well, we're stabilizing it. Blah, blah, blah. Didn't answer. I was like, how much do you make?
Yeah.
And he was like, oh, well, nothing. And I was like, how long have you owned them? Oh, well, we've been stabilizing it for 3 years. And I'm like, bro, in 3 years, I've made millions flipping and wholesaling.
Right.
While you're, and like it took you 14 months to build that rental portfolio and you're going to make 250, which is good.
Right.
But what if you would have put that same amount of time into something that made active income? You would have made more than 250K.
Oh, 100%.
And you made 250K, but it's going to take you another 3 years
for me to see it.
For you to see it. That's the game of buying rentals. You buy now, and then you have to wait to see those returns come in. And they do come in if you buy them right, but it's a long-term game.
I do want to say this. It took me 14 months to build it because that's when the partnership started. But then it took me 3 years of building the credibility, knowing how to find the right deals, like sourcing the right deals, like going through all the cold calling. Like it took me years of practice for me to actually play the game, the 14-month game that I played.
Yeah.
So, and I'm like, in 14 months technically, if I were to put it, if something happened to my partner and I don't get paid out on the other 200 grand, like in 14 months, I only made 50 grand. Technically.
Dang. So what are you going to do now?
For me, I've always, like the last 3 years of real estate, I think I cleared like $250,000 like consistently.
That's good.
I just don't know how to like break it.
Wait, you said the last 4 years?
Last 2-3 years.
You made $250,000 each year.
Yeah.
Okay, so what you need to do now is scale. That's pretty much it.
But then I don't want to do the same thing that I don't want to do the same thing that I've been doing the last 3 years. Cuz it's not exciting.
Okay.
It's too autopilot. It's on an autopilot, and I need something that's going to involve my actual involvement.
Why don't you scale your flipping and wholesaling business or your wholesaling business?
I don't want to scale that business.
Why?
I feel like there's a point of diminishing return.
And the 250 you make, is that from your wholesaling business or is that from education and wholesaling?
Wholesaling, just straight wholesaling.
Just wholesaling.
Yeah.
Why don't you get that up to 500 to 750?
But it is hard to grow a creative finance wholesaling business.
But why don't you start doing straight wholesale business?
I don't want to do it.
Why?
I don't want to do it. I don't know.
Do you think I want to wholesale? Do you think I like flipping houses? No, I freaking hate it. I don't talk to sellers. I don't really I talk to them at the very end if I have to, but I have a team that's doing it. Like I'm not freaking sitting here doing all the crap. I have to help sometimes, but I don't like flipping houses. I don't do it because
how much did you make last year?
Last year flipping not a lot because I let it die because I was doing Wealthy Investor.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, but the years before that, I was making like $750 to $1 million. But I went all in on Wealthy Investor. Now I'm building it back up this year. In the last since from March to now, we've made about 250 net. And then we're scaling now. So next year, my goal is to make $1 million net again. But I made a mistake. So I'll tell you my mistake. And this is very sensitive information, right?
Okay.
So I took a risk and I let my flipping and wholesaling business die in 2023. I was like recovering from the losses, some of the losses that I was taking. The market was very unstable, and I went all in on coaching, right? And coaching, I made more than $500,000 in 2023 net to me.
Yeah.
Right. So I made about $500K last year. I think a little bit more. We'll say like, because I sold some deals. Like, we'll say I made $600K last year.
Okay.
Right. The year before that, 2022, I made like 1.2. The year before that, I made like 1.1. The year before that, I was like at 750. But those years, my main business was flipping and wholesaling. And then 2023, I was like, I'm going to go all in on education.
Right.
Right. And I let my flipping and wholesaling business die. And that was a mistake. I shouldn't have done that. I should have kept that going while I was building this. So then at the end of 2023, I was like, I didn't make the money that I wanted to make. I want to make 7 figures a year. That's where I feel like I should be. So I was like, I gotta build it back up. And then the first quarter, I kind of was just like not focused. So I really started in like April. And now I have an operator. I have 2 salespeople, and then I have like a marketing person.
Okay.
Yeah. So I believe with 3 salespeople, there's no reason I should not be able to make $1 million a year net. That was my mistake. So I hope you don't make the same mistake.
Right. Okay. So then what do you do with when things just get very mundane, like the day-to-day stuff?
Bro, that's life. That's life, bro. That's where spirit, not even, that's like spiritual maturity also is a part of that. Like going to church, like sometimes I go to church and there's like, I don't really get anything out of it, but I understand it's not all about me. It's about everyone.
Right.
So for my business, like, you know, it's about me, but it's also about my team. They need to make money too.
Right.
And I know that because it's different, flipping and wholesaling business, and you can replace flipping with novations or whatever, like active income. It's lower risk because what happens if we spend $15K and we don't make anything? We lost $15K.
Yeah.
Yeah. When you have a ton of flips or a ton of rentals and private money, your risk is like significantly higher. So it is very mundane. It's very like, but I'm not in the day to day. I'm not on the phones freaking calling sellers and yeah.
What really interests me is the. Oh wait, I want to go back because you said.
Yeah, let's talk about the wholesaling and then we'll talk about what you want to talk about. I know what you want to talk about.
I don't know if this is the right topic, but you said all the multifamily guys that you see out there, they don't make any money.
Yeah.
So then why do people even do that? Why are they even doing that?
I think they do it because they will make money later. But I also think they get these big fees, right? They get like an acquisition fee.
Yeah.
I think that they sell a lot of education. And I think they're playing the long game.
Like just when they sell that, when that's
it. I think like someone like I could take Brandon Turner. I don't think he lives off of his cash flow from his apartments.
Okay.
I think he's going to build this huge thing and then sell it one day, and then he's going to be ultra wealthy. Grant Cardone, same thing. I don't think Grant Cardone lives off of his cash flow. I think he sells a bunch of education, does a bunch of other things that produce cash. He puts all that cash into real estate, the appreciation and XYZ. He'll sell or he'll pass it down to her kids. But it's a very long game. They're playing the longest game.
Yeah, and I'm not interested in that game right now.
Yeah, and that's okay. Yeah. So that's what I think. I thought you were going to ask about the wholesale business, but
the wholesale business, like, I don't know. I've been in it for 4 years now. It's like, I know how to grow it.
Yeah.
And
Then why don't you grow it to 7 figures?
that's not the business that I want to grow.
Okay, that's fair. If you don't wanna do it,
That's just a personal decision, and I maybe that's a decision that that I'm gonna regret.
Yeah.
But I feel like if I'm gonna grow something, like okay, let's just say, like you grow a wholesale business. What's the likelihood of that business actually being sustained without your involvement in it?
It's very possible. It's very possible.
Yeah.
Like I said, my wholesale business, even though we only made 250 so far this year, bro, I'm not in it. I'm not talking to sellers. I'm there for like random little moments where the agent or someone wants to speak to me. I'm in there, but I'm not freaking dialing. I haven't made dials in like this whole year. I haven't been on the phone making dials. So I'll do dispo, which is like me posting on Instagram, me calling through Investor Lift. But my flipping and wholesaling business for sure makes at least 20K a month, and I spend not a lot of time. And it come back in a year from now, it will make 7 figures. If it doesn't, I messed up. I failed, and I'm gonna be pissed, and I'm not gonna let that happen. But
okay,
so your wholesale business, do you have a partner on that too?
yeah,
Okay. That's another thing I'm not the biggest fan of partnerships unless I'm partnering up, not partnering sideways.
No, we're partnering. Wait, what do you mean partnering sideways?
Like we're both on the same level.
Okay.
Like I want to partner up.
In terms of like they bring you more deal flow?
And just in general, like if I'm partnering with someone, I have to be like, dude, I'm partnering up.
Interesting.
Where most people partner sideways or even they partner below. They're like, oh, my friend's about to get into real estate. I'm going to partner with them when they've been in real estate. Or like, oh, my partner does 50 flips. I do 50 flips. Let's do it. I like partnering up.
Interesting. I've never heard that before.
Think about it. It makes sense.
Yeah, but my partner allows me to. I don't spend more than an hour a week, even if that, on my wholesale business because of my partner.
50-50 split?
Yeah,
that's another thing. So,
oh my God, yeah, break it down for me, Brian.
Oh yeah. This is another thing. Not all partnerships need to be 50-50.
Right.
That's another thing. I think a lot of people make that mistake where they're like, oh, partners 50-50. That's not. If one partner brings more, when me and Ryan decided to become partners, I didn't get 50% because he brought way more to the table.
Right.
So not all partnerships need to be 50-50.
Okay. Yeah.
That could make it more exciting for the partner that gets more because then the upside is higher. Where like, if you're like, well, if I got to produce 500K and I'm giving up 250, like that's just not exciting.
Yeah. But then it's like, my partner like literally like I was in Korea, I never got a single phone call me close 2 deals. So for me, like I'd much rather have that than more involvement with more ownership.
Again, I ran Wealthy Investor for 4 years. Ryan used to not even know how to get into Slack.
Yeah, me too. I don't even have a Slack anymore.
Yeah. So I ran the day-to-day. And only on like an emergency would I be like, hey, like what's your opinion on this? But so my thing would be like, you should scale your wholesale business. But what do you want to do?
Well, I'm even thinking at this point, like after listening to your podcast with Cody, like just go buy a business.
That's a good idea.
Isn't that so? I mean, he made. I'm pretty sure Cody made it sound way simpler than it actually is. I don't know, but he was like, pull a list, right? Pull a list of all the houses that's all the businesses that are for sale, and you cold call them, and he sends them a mailer. Mm-hmm. I'm sure there's way less competition than that.
Oh yeah, there is.
I mean, how many people are buying businesses?
Not a lot.
I mean, how many people are trying to wholesale a single family house?
I think the wholesale business is dying.
Really?
I genuinely see that. Like I said, I'm seeing people leave the industry. I'm seeing it every day. I'm seeing people hit me up telling me, and these are not just like, these are just friends, not students, not like parties that like you, where like we're friends, we've been knowing each other for years, and they call me like, hey, dude, like, dude, you're getting out of the business.
I'm not.
But you are.
What?
But you literally, you're another example of someone that's kind of getting out of the wholesale business.
It's because I'm preparing for something bigger.
I know, and it's not bad. I'm not saying everyone's getting out of it because they're doing less.
Yeah.
They're just doing
Different
something.
things.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah, actually, you just made a really great point. I'm
Hey.
sitting right in front of you.
Yeah, even Pace. I had Pace on the podcast, and he was like, I don't want to wholesale. I want to buy rentals and buy businesses and da-da-da-da. It's just the name of, it's just what's happening right now in real estate. People are quitting. People are finding jobs that pay more, and they don't have to take the risk of all the things.
Right.
All the people are wiped out from like private loans and all this crap that defaulted. People are getting into like just different stuff. That's just what's, real estate's not sexy right now.
It's not.
And it's probably not going to be sexy for like another 2 years.
I was kind of thinking the same thing.
Ooh.
Yeah. Yeah. So I don't know. I really don't know. I mean, I'm in such a unique spot, because here's the thing: is like I'm getting paid $5,000 a month for the next 2 years, and I'm still gonna keep my wholesale operation at $20,000 a month, no matter what. So like I can basically live somewhat comfortably.
Yeah.
Like I don't have to worry about like, okay, I gotta do I get guacamole at Chipotle? Like, do I have to worry about that? No. So I'm in a good spot where I can take a completely different route, and that's what's kind of confusing me. I wish I had less options. I think one of the reasons why I succeeded in real estate, and I say I succeeded because that's my definition my definition of success, was if I can break 6 figures, I'm successful, and I did that. And the reason why I was able to do it at age 21, 22 was because that was the only thing I knew what to do.
Oh yeah.
If I was 40 and I did all these prior businesses, I went to school, I got a degree, I had a job, all these things, I think I would have failed. But I had one and only option, in which was real estate, and I was able to crush it. But now I'm in a spot where, okay, I don't really need to do real estate. I have a little bit of money coming in every month, whether I work or not, and I know that whether it's real estate or whether it's buying a business or whatever it is, I'm gonna make it work, because once I put my mind into it, I'm gonna like and focus 100% into it. I'm gonna make it work.
Yeah.
So like I'm just like, it's a combination of being comfortable and plus having a little bit of money coming in every month, that I'm like, I can take a little bit of break, and I'm just kind of like, and I end up not making any decision.
Yeah. So I would say you're not in the best position.
No.
Because $5,000 a month is not.
It is nothing. Yeah, like my rent is $5,000.
In Biden's America, dude, inflation.
Yeah.
That's like 2 bags of groceries.
Yeah.
And some gas.
Yeah.
And your rent.
Yeah.
So like, I feel like maybe you're going through more of a mental thing than like a financial thing.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
So what do I do? Well, let's talk about buying businesses, because
let's talk about buying
because
businesses.
earlier, before we started the podcast, you were like, I just like I told you, I literally just told you, I just want to make a ton of money. That's passive income, I don't care. Active income, I don't care. I want to make at least. I wonder what it's like to make $4 million a year.
That'd be sick. Yeah. I don't know, because I haven't made that yet.
Yeah, exactly.
I want to make that.
Like, what do we got to do?
Dude, we could start an OnlyFans.
I mean,
Puerto Rican and Chinese, you know what I'm saying? PC.
No, something more realistic. I know not many. I don't think I have that big of an audience.
Okay.
Yeah.
Let's think about it. Well, what have you been thinking you want to do?
Like,
I'm flipping and wholesaling.
Okay.
I am committed to. I need to make 7 figures next year. Flipping and wholesaling. That's it. And again, the flipping is only on the right deals. I'm not trying to flip 40 houses. Like I'm flipping 6 houses right now that I still have. I think I did 16 this year, but they're safe deals. Like $40K bangers without any rehab. Like I have to buy and relist. Like, So just to be clear, I'm not trying to scale a flipping company, but flipping could also be novations or wholesales. So
Okay.
I want to make 7 figures net next year, wholesale flipping business.
Okay. Okay.
Okay. I don't know what you want to do.
Okay. What is it that I want to do?
Yeah.
What
You
is
want to
it?
buy businesses.
I think that's an option that we can explore
Okay.
because the concept of it is the same.
It is the same.
So you buy one business. I'm sure the acquisitions of it is not the same length as like, okay, well, you flip a house. What is it? 6 months.
Yeah, 6 months.
Yeah, like, well, maybe the due diligence on a business could be 4 or
few
5
months.
months. Yeah.
Yeah. Mhm.
So like, the length of it is different, but the concept of like, okay, getting getting a list and then calling the sellers or reaching out to them and then like structuring a deal that works for both parties is the same concept. So if I take the experience that I have from my wholesale business and just take it over here, I mean, I feel like I could crush in that thing, like truly.
I believe you can.
Yeah.
So is the part that you're confused about like what type of business, or why do you feel like you don't know what to do?
It's because my brand has been around creative finance, has been around real estate. So for me to kind of transition into that, it kind of changes my audience.
Mm-hmm.
So that's probably the biggest thing.
Okay.
Especially
so social media, that's kind of affecting you.
Yes, especially.
Oh, we can talk about that too, because I don't like social media.
Right.
As a social media person.
Especially, I did my first creative finance workshop, and I want to do more of it.
Okay.
Because like I didn't really do. I won't even say I did a lot of work, but like the first one I did, there's so many things I did wrong. I netted 30 grand.
That's good.
Didn't even do like the next one that I have coming up. I'm like, what if I clear like 70 grand? So
good.
like 70 grand, do it 3 or 4 times a year, $250,000 just holding 2-day events.
You should do that.
Right. But then if I completely deviate too quickly from it, then I lose my ability to host workshops like that.
Yeah.
So
you don't do that. Learn from my mistake. I freaking remember. I went all in on something, and I let my business die.
yeah.
That was a mistake.
Yeah.
That was just dumb. I should have continued it, even though I was in the same boat. I didn't want to do it. I was like, well, this opportunity is way bigger. And it was a mistake.
Yeah.
So it sucks. And it's funny too, because as entrepreneurs, right? It sucks to say you made less money than you did before.
Yeah.
That shit sucks. It's embarrassing, especially like the higher up you get. I feel like in income, like if I made $100K a year, bro, I would be mad, bro. It wouldn't be. I would not, bro. I don't even know what would happen. Like I would be so mad. And some people listening to this are like, oh my God, this guy, like, I wish I made $100K. But once you get to a certain level, you don't want to go down.
Yeah.
And then like when you do go down, it hurts your ego.
Yeah.
So that's kind of like what happened to me. I had to like check my ego. I'm like, dude, I made less money. Like I made a mistake. There was a bunch of nights where I didn't sleep because I was just pissed. I was just like, dude, at the end of the year, it was like January. I look back, I'm like, I made half of what I made. Every other year I was like this.
Yeah.
And then I went down. And now I got to go back up. But for me, I know it's just focus. I have to do flipping and wholesaling. I have to cut. I'm like trimming out. I'm doing less social media now too.
I kind of noticed that. I haven't seen you on Instagram as much as I used to.
Yeah. Because I am posting less. I just have to go through a season of like pruning to get my focus like right here. But anyways, for you, why don't you do education? Because you can make a bunch of money.
The workshops, yeah.
Yeah, just do one workshop a month. That'll probably bring in $500,000 a year, depending if your audience keeps growing or whatnot.
Yeah.
Your wholesale business will bring in $250. Is that $250 to you, or that's $250 total?
Well, $250 to me, yeah.
Okay, so
that's with the average splits.
Yeah, so that's good.
Yeah.
So that's about $750 right there.
Yeah.
And then go hard on trying to buy businesses. Don't make it your only thing, because then you're risking.
Yeah. So it's a weird season of me. Just getting personal, is And I've always loved like starting from scratch.
Yeah.
Right. Like I moved, and which is the reason why I move every 2 years. Like you look at like my life, I moved so many times, and the reason I'm moving to Phoenix is because I want to start from scratch
Yeah.
and kind of build something new.
That's good.
I've always done that. I've always started with new friends. I moved around a bunch of times when I was in like up until high school, so I'm so used to it, and for me to continue on with something that I've been doing for 4 years is I'm just like, okay, well, I've been doing this for 4 years. Am I gonna keep doing this? Because every 2 years I would do something different.
Yeah. Yeah.
Every 2 years I would have a different friend group. Every 2 years I'll be in a completely different city.
Yeah.
So, and I think that's like my upbringing. But then there's people like like my friend like who's literally born at the house that he still lives in.
Yeah.
With his parents. I'm like, whoa, I can never imagine me doing that.
Yeah.
So,
I do think you'll be successful buying businesses, and I do think for you it's a good idea because you're 24, you have no responsibilities, like
yeah.
minimal, right? I have 4 kids, a wife. We're gonna have more kids. Like I can't risk everything.
Are you the only breadwinner?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. My wife doesn't work.
Yeah.
We got 2 dogs and 3 cats. Like I got
Whoa,
yeah. And I take care of my mom financially. I do a bunch of things financially that I can't just like risk it where you can.
I could, yeah, easily.
Yeah. When I got into real estate, I risked quitting my job and I went all in on real estate. Stable paycheck to no paycheck for like months. Yeah. And it paid off. So you're going through this, and I was older than you. I was older than what you are right now. I was like 25.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So you're just good to do the same thing, but get into businesses. But okay, another concept I want to talk about is what I think about a lot, right? Is you'll talk to somebody, right? And they're like, yeah, I've been selling cars for 50 years or whatever. Let's say more realistic, 15 years, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. And then you're like, how much money do you have? And they're like, oh, I saw this like a reel from Andy Elliott. And the guy was like, oh, I have like nothing, like 3K, let's say. And it's like, dude, you've been putting your time into something for 15 years and you have nothing to show for it.
Yeah.
So I'm trying to think about day to day, what do I need to add to my business or life that will pay off in time? Wholesaling won't, but the money that I get from wholesaling will if I invest it. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So yeah.
Yeah, I think that was a big moment when I was the first 2 years that I made 6 figures. I didn't really buy anything, so like at the end of the year, I look back and I'm like, I have no money, and I don't know what I did this year. You know what? You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, I have that when I first started. Yeah.
Yeah. You bought no rentals. You supposedly wholesaled all the deals, and you look at your bank. You're like there's no money there.
Yeah.
I'm like, could have done nothing and we'll be in the same place.
Yeah. Yeah. Do you still feel like you're doing that or no?
No.
Okay, that's good.
I mean, I bought rentals along the way, and then I got bought out. That's something I show for it.
Yeah.
I built social media.
Yeah.
I get deal flow from it, YouTube, and the skills that I've acquired along the way, like those definitely, and the confidence behind those, and confidence knowing that I can use those skills whenever I want. I don't get that anymore.
Yeah. I think I definitely feel like that what you talked about is how my 2023 went.
Really?
That's what I'm saying. At the end of the year, I do this every year. At the end of the year, I always, and it's so cheesy, but I sit down and I really look at like what happened. And I'm like, what happened? Like I go through myself. I'm like, how much money did I net? And then if I see a number that I don't like, I'm like, what the freakity frack did I do? Like, how did I let that happen? Like, and I'm pretty hard on myself. So I'm like, and then every year I make hard pivots. I'm not afraid to like make decisions like, hey, with social media, like I love this podcast, but I cannot let this podcast, I don't make any money from this podcast. People are always in the comments, this guy sells coaching. Bro, guess how much money I made from coaching this month? Nothing. Guess how much I made last month? Nothing. Like this podcast doesn't bring in coaching. I like it because it's free coaching. It's entertainment. It juices my creativity and I get to help people because there are people that are like, dude, I got my first deal. Thank you so much. Oh, I hired because of this podcast or XYZ. People are like learning, and this is like me giving back. But this podcast cost me $6,000 a month. It's not free.
Why do you run it then?
Just all the reasons I just said, to give back for my creativity. I get free coaching, building a personal brand. I do think later on it will produce more fruit, but right now, for me, social media doesn't make me money. Does it make? Well, it does make you money. I need to figure out how to monetize this podcast. That's what I do.
I'm a little surprised that you don't make any money from you make future money, right?
Future money, yeah.
Yeah, but
like I'm building it up, but like affiliates, I make nothing in affiliates.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, I know.
Holy crap. Oh my God, Brian. Are you serious?
Yeah.
You make zero money affiliates?
Ask Brianna.
Oh my gosh.
How much do I make from affiliates, Brianna?
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Brian, I'm so bad with affiliates. Like I know for a fact that I'm bad with affiliates, but I at least bring in like $7-8 a month on affiliates. Like,
oh my God.
Like last paycheck from
you better help me set this up so Brianna can
last check I got from one of my affiliate was like $4,900.
For which affiliate?
It was a CRM that I affiliate for.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Dang, I need to do that.
I mean, that's not even talking about like 5 other affiliate sources that I have.
Well,
right?
Well, we could talk about that.
Yeah, we can talk about that later.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, wow, guys, it's insane.
And all I asked them to do is subscribe.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
Oh my God.
It's so funny though, because I do see comments all the time like, this guy. And I'm like, bro, you think this is free, dog? These cameras are thousands of dollars each.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. We got a producer. We got lights. We got the studio. We got posting. We got an editor outside. Bro, this ain't cheap, dog.
Oh, it's expensive.
It's very expensive.
Yeah, I mean even $6,000 you could easily you don't even need to do like much to it, like, but it can easily go up to 10-15 grand.
Oh yeah, it's been higher.
Oh yeah.
That's with me cutting.
Yeah.
Yeah. So okay, let's transition to social media.
Okay, social media.
Okay, how's your social media going?
Pretty good.
Okay.
Like monetization wise, like I'm learning.
Yeah.
I'm learning because what good is an audience if you don't monetize on it? Like that's something that I've kind of learned the hard way because I've done too many things without monetizing on it.
That's where I'm at.
Yeah, and it's like I totally understand, like, okay, like, yeah, it's gonna build my brand, it's gonna blah blah blah, but like I started to be a little bit more proactive in the selling process. Like I started selling one-on-ones like hourly, like $300 an hour.
Okay.
And then I have at least, a couple people sign up a week, so that's $1,000 to $1,500 without even
for one session it's $300.
1 hour is, yeah.
That's pretty good.
Yeah.
I should do that.
Yeah. I mean,
you know what? In the description of this video, if you want coaching, it's gonna be in there.
Yeah, 1 hour, and then
for me, not for Chuck.
Oh yeah,
yeah. Don't. If you're here and you sign up for this guy,
yes, please sign up for Brian's 101.
There you go. It's gonna be in the description.
Yeah.
But anywho, okay. So you said it's going good.
So here's what I've recently realized.
Okay.
And I say this on because it's your podcast and not many of my audience will be
Listen.
watching.
Yeah.
But like what happens is like when you sign up when somebody signs up for one-on-one, it's like you basically got paid to sell them something.
Oh.
Like
we're going just unfiltered. I like it.
And I say this because like somebody's like, okay, I want to pay Brian to give me 1 hour of his time.
Yeah.
And then I want Brian to tell me exactly what I need to buy. That's So like when I did the workshop, it was my first time ever selling, and then I only sold like 3 or 4 on the Zoom that I had like thousands of people registered. But what actually got me, so I had total of 14 people that paid for the workshop. Only 4 of them came from the actual live Zoom. 2 of them were pre-sold, and then so 6, and then 8 of them came from the one-on-ones that I did after the workshop, after the Zoom that when I sold it in the public, right? So I said, hey guys, I'm hosting a workshop, blah blah blah, and then only 4 people paid on the spot. But after everything was done, I was like, okay, how am I gonna get more sales? Because I have overhead. So I said, I sent out a Zoom link to. I sent out a Calendly, one free Calendly link to everybody. I said, hey guys, as a token of my appreciation, thank you so much for coming to the Zoom. Here's a free 30-minute one-on-one. You can ask me whatever questions you want. You want to ask me questions about my wholesale business, my lending business, my social media, how I monetize everything. Just come and ask me free questions. And then I scheduled 51 one-on-ones that week, and I sold 8 workshops.
Okay.
Doing one-on-ones, and I'm like, this is where I feel like social media actually comes into play. Is I'm like, I don't necessarily want everybody to. Not many people will sign up for a high ticket thing right out of the gate. It'll be easier for somebody to pay for like $250, $300 an hour, maybe even $100 an hour, and then you coach them, and then now you have an hour to sell them on something else.
Yeah.
So, and now that I've realized it, I'm like, I'm probably gonna be pushing for a lot more pushing for selling more one-on-ones.
Yeah. And even though I know I'm getting excited, I mean, I've done coaching for the last 4 years.
Yeah.
And the reason I'm like not pushing it anymore is because I do want to focus on real estate. So I know I'm like being a hypocrite right now where I'm like, dude, it would be nice to make affiliate money because at least it's passive and I don't have to fulfill. I don't want to have to fulfill on coaching right now. I'm doing some one-on-one, but it's only for like selective people. I'm not looking for like new people. They have to have capital. They have to have done some deals.
Right.
And then I help them scale. But I'm not trying to scale that.
Yeah. So the way, I mean, I don't call like my workshop a coaching, because when I did my first workshop, I literally told everybody at the workshop, I said, hey guys, my fulfillment here is done the moment you walk out of that door tomorrow.
Yeah.
And everybody's super happy, and I'm like, I'm getting people to sign up, just word of mouth for the second workshop, because the first workshop people were actually very happy, and they're telling their friends about it. So like, I don't do weekly calls. I don't do anything.
Yeah.
Even the one-on-ones, I say, hey, here's your 60 minutes.
Yeah. After there's nothing else.
There's nothing else.
Yeah, that's good.
I mean, but then that's the bar that I set.
Yeah.
But then, and the moment you go above and beyond that, it's like, whoa, So
yeah.
But I'm still so new in the coaching space. I won't even call myself a coach, because the amount of money that I make from coaching is so small.
Yeah.
Like affiliate is not coaching.
Yeah.
I think coaching is like maybe $1,000-$1,500 a month. It's like not even worth my time. Like, still majority of my business actually comes from doing the business.
Yeah. So I think I need to do affiliates. How else is your social media going?
I get a lot of people wanting to give me money.
Oh, for lending?
Yeah.
That is, people. I can say this podcast for sure. The last 2 deals, 100% funded.
Without even a problem.
Like 100% funded. Like with one post. Like
Instagram story.
One Instagram story. Easy.
Right.
Easy for raising money. Right. And I get people asking me to lend, and I'm just like, like I'm not trying to take on a bunch of debt. So even though it's good, I've only funded 2 deals recently with it, because I'm not trying to scale the flipping per se. It has to just make so much sense.
Yeah.
But so that I can say for sure. I've got over multiple 6 figures right now from lenders, easy.
Yeah, like I have a lender of mine. I mean, he's not my lender, but he's like, I want to give you money. Can you please like find a project for me?
Yeah.
And he texts me like twice, at least every other week. So like that's what you get from like being on social media. But I'm trying to think, like affiliate is good. Education, and then people wanting to give you money. I think opportunities. I'm sure you get a lot of opportunities from this.
I do, but I'm not trying to do anything. What about, how do you feel like your views are going? How do you feel like your time, do you feel like it's time effective for you? Do you feel like it's a distraction for you?
It's definitely not a distraction, because the amount of people that I can just push away just by, hey, watch this YouTube video, filters so many people out. So like that's been really big. That's been really helpful. Like, I mean, I have so many videos on my YouTube channel, like that's actually practical. That's very helpful. And I just say, hey, just go watch my YouTube video. Yeah. So like I push a lot of people away in that sense. But other than that, like,
what's your goal with it?
affiliate.
That's it.
No, there's more, but like I want to see like I'm always looking at like what Ryan's doing. Like he just like filmed a podcast with Ty Lopez, and I'm like, oh my gosh, like I want to network with such cool people just by having such a big social audience.
Oh, okay.
Like, yes, money is obviously like it comes with it. Like, I mean, if you get views, you're gonna make money no matter what. You know, if you have people that watch, that people will buy your product no matter what. But like networking with people that you normally wouldn't be able to network with, like like Ty Lopez being one of them with Ryan, and then Grant Cardone, one of them. There's a lot of people that I want to meet and that I want to actually earn my way up there. Like I don't really want like for so far like Pace helped me so much, and like he pushed me and did all these things for me. But at one point I got to figure out, okay, like I got to grow my own following so that I can go and reach out to these people and say, you know what, I'm worthy of your time. Yeah. So it's like a building.
I'm in the same boat kind of with Ryan.
Yeah.
Where like I feel like I met a lot of people with Ryan, but now I'm like kind of like I took over the podcast, and I'm just like, before Ryan and the whole team used to produce it and handle it and everything.
Yeah.
This year it came under me because I kind of want to just like build it myself.
Right. Like you want like people associate me with like, oh, Kevin's Pace's right hand guy. Whatever. And I'm actually very happy with that title.
Oh,
and
for sure.
I think I'd be happy with that title for the rest of my life. Like,
for sure, yeah.
Like, I mean, the amount of credibility that comes with it. But then like I kind of want to test like my ability from time to time. Yeah. Like, okay, if I had a chance to meet Alex Hormozi like a year and a half ago, Pace took me to his mastermind, to a mastermind that he was part of. And I'm like, okay, well, would I ever be able to beat Alex Hormozi at this mastermind if it wasn't for Pace? Yeah. And I'm like, maybe not, but I want to test it out. But like I said, like if I can be Pace number 2, like I'll still be happy.
Yeah. So for me, right, people are like, it's funny because sometimes people are like, oh, this is Ryan, COO or whatever. Yeah. Like, that's not like, that wouldn't be good enough for me. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Like, I believe that you and Pace, me and Ryan, right, I think we both want to get to where we're like equal. Not like, oh, I just work. I'm just known because of Pace. Yeah. Yeah. I want to be like LeBron James and Dwayne Wade. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. People respect Dwayne Wade, and Dwayne Wade can win on his own. Right. He doesn't need LeBron James, but when they work together, they win a ton. Right. That's where I'm not trying to be like Kobe Bryant and like Derek Fisher. You know what I'm saying?
Who even knows Derek Fisher? Like I know Derek Fisher. Yeah, I know.
Yeah. Or Robert Horry. Like,
I don't know who that is.
He's the guy that he would hit the threes last minute.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Okay. For the Lakers.
Yeah. No, but like
exactly who like that. That's exactly what I'm talking about. Who's Robert Horry? I don't want to be that guy. I want to be like, oh yeah, I know Pace and I know Kevin Choe.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Or like I found Pace because of Kevin Choe. Like sometimes some people tell me that with Ryan. I'm like, dude, I always bring him to Ryan at WealthCon. I'm like, listen to what they just said. And he's like, oh, there's a first time for everything. I'm like,
no, I don't think I've ever had that yet. I'm like, oh, I found Pace because of you, Kevin.
Yeah.
No, but I totally understand where you're coming from, because it's like I don't really want to go out and like be the next guy, because it's a lot of work. Like it's nice to have, but it's not something that I would work like my whole life for. Yeah. But it's just like, okay, let me just, like I said, let me just test it. Let me just see what I'm actually capable of. Yeah. From time to time, you just want to test it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what are your goals with social media?
I want to be where you're worthy of having a conversation with.
Okay. That's it.
Yeah, I want to walk into a room and I'm like, oh, that's Kevin Choe. Like, respectable.
Yeah. What is that called? Is that called like kind of want fame, I guess?
Kind of want fame, yeah. And imagine all the opportunities that came. I mean, you look at this. You look at all the opportunities that come from just eyeballs.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Like not only monetizing on social media, but like everybody wants to be friends with you. Like wouldn't it be cool to be friends with Joe Rogan, like your podcast is like number 4 or something.
Yeah.
And you're like, oh, I know Joe Rogan. Yeah.
Yeah.
He's number 1, but I'm number 4.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
And now you walk in, and now people know who Brian is.
Yeah.
And you can go into any other podcast, conference or whatever, and like they know who you are.
I don't really want fame personally.
You don't?
No.
Oh, really? That's so interesting that you say that.
Yeah. That's why I'm saying like this podcast, I do it for creative release.
Okay.
Like I like to do something creative and it kind of like fuels my creativity.
Yeah.
I like helping. I like teaching people. And then I like getting coaching. I like talking to high level people and learning from them and then implementing. And that's kind of it. And then I do want like impact. Like I'm on a mission to get people to go to church and like find Jesus. So those are like the 4 things. Fame, I don't really want. I think because of Ryan, I've met a lot of famous people.
Yeah.
And then at the end of the day, I'm like, what are these relationships like?
What is it good for?
Yeah, what is it good for?
At least for you.
I've met Grant Cardone, I've met the Brandon Turners, I've met Pace multiple times on my podcast. I've met anyone in real estate, RJ Bates, Thatch. I've had all the top people in real estate on this podcast, and they were great. But at the end of the day, what happens?
I mean, don't you want to? I don't know. Maybe this is just me, but when I was in New York,
everyone's different.
Yeah,
there's nothing wrong with it.
Yeah. But when I was in New York, it was Fashion Week in New York, and I'm like there's some like girls, some people, girls.
You just did that.
Yeah, some people that are like they're just famous, and they just get invited to these things.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
I want to see what's. I don't care if anything monetizable opportunity comes by.
Yeah.
I just want to see what's going on. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And also, dude, I'm almost 10 years older than you.
Right.
So like we have different, if I was 24, I want to like,
you want everybody to know who you are.
Yeah, I want everyone to know.
You want to walk into the club and you're like, oh my God, that's Brian.
Yeah.
All the girls are all over you.
Yeah. Now it's like, dude, I literally am about to have 5 kids.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I don't, you know what I'm saying? I can't, it doesn't, at the end of the day, I have to go home at 5 and take care of my kids, do their homework and all this stuff. So like, I'm not like willing to travel and go to New York for 3 days and leave my kids. Like I'm not willing to live that right now.
Yeah.
Maybe when I'm 50 and they're already like doing their own life. But right now I'm not really, that's not my goal.
Yeah.
But if I was 24, I would for sure do it. And I think you should do it because what else are you going to do? Stay home with your dog or your cat or whatever?
It's boring.
Yeah.
Although dog does help you.
Yeah, the dog is great.
Yeah.
But so yeah, I think that's good. That's what you want.
Yeah. I want to walk because I wasn't the cool kid in high school.
Yeah.
Like, I didn't even go to prom.
Dang.
And I want to see what it's like to be like that football player, like starter football player, kind of,
yeah, vibe. Cool
guy.
Yeah.
Oh, you walk around, you're like, hey, what's up, man? And you know everybody. All the pretty girls know, like.
You kind of are that, right? In sub 2.
In sub 2, yeah.
Yeah.
But then what good is getting like 40-year-old woman to like love on you? You want some young like people my age.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, let's transition to relationships.
Okay.
So how is it being young and successful and single?
It's definitely, I've gotten a lot of more. Okay, do you know the word roster?
Yeah.
Okay. I gotta make sure you're old, you're like young enough to know what that means.
Yeah,
Okay.
dude, I know roster, right?
Okay, so like the roster has definitely gotten bigger. like 2 years ago, it didn't exist.
No way, you just said that. The roster got bigger. That's so funny.
Oh my gosh, bro, I gotta show you this.
Okay.
Actually, no, I can't show you this.
Yeah.
I can't. I like have it on my notes.
Oh, okay.
Like leads.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
So the roster's big, but how are you finding the right
girls?
Oh, absolutely not. No.
Are you trying to or right now? No?
I'm not trying to. No.
Oh no.
No, because
yeah.
it's so unfair for me.
Why?
Like all okay. So like, the girls that are the average age in my roster, they're like 28. So they're like there's someone
older.
looking to settle down.
Yeah.
Like, cause they're like, okay, well, I got like maybe one more relationship left, maybe two,
Oh
right? Like, because like, well, they know that they're running out of biological
my God.
time, and this is not me saying it. This is them saying it. Okay.
That's so funny.
So,
Brian,
like-
how old are you? Our producer here is 31 years old. Her biological clock is ticking, dude. That's so funny. She
No.
was just single and she just got married. So shout out to Brianna. And
Wait,
her
she was
husband.
single and she got just married.
She was single and she literally just got married like a week ago.
You got married a week ago?
It's been a couple weeks.
Oh wow,
been like
I
2
didn't
weeks.
even know that. I thought you were married the whole time.
Nope.
Oh my gosh.
She just started dating, like really dating. It's a long story, but she was
okay.
single. Technically, she was single.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, but long story short, I am not looking to sell anytime soon.
Okay.
Because I had a time of just solitude for early 20s.
Oh, because you're just focused on work.
All I do was work.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
now that like, okay, I'm getting more money, like I'm having more fun, like my game is getting better.
Okay.
I got a little golden retriever. Like,
Okay.
it's insane.
You have an, like it's almost like an assistant right there.
Yeah, it's an
He's
assistant.
just helping you. It's like
I
Derek
could just
Fisher
go
right
to the
there.
beach and just sit with him.
And he's good for at least 2 points.
Oh
for
yeah,
sure.
yeah. It gets you in the door.
Yeah,
it gets
yeah.
you in the door. And then like, so like now it's like
That's so
it's like
funny.
I'm getting warmed up. It's like my time's coming.
You're probably gonna find a girl then. That's what's probably gonna happen.
But then it's like the girls that's in my, it's like that, like average is 28 to 29, right?
In your roster.
Yeah, but they already had their fun, and they're looking to settle down. But they're like, I didn't have my fun yet.
Ooh.
So like I got to use my fun and then settle down. Does that make sense?
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah. I can't, but yeah, definitely helps when you being on. I don't think being on podcasts actually helps.
Why?
Actually, no.
It does help for sure.
I went to the club and I was like, do you know Brian Davila?
No way.
No, that didn't happen.
Okay,
that
okay.
didn't happen. But like,
Hopefully one day it does.
it maybe it gives you like maybe 1 or 2 points, but it really doesn't really help
Well,
you.
any girl listening to this podcast is a good girl. So shout out to the women. If you're a woman listening to this, leave a comment. But
No, don't leave a comment.
Yeah.
DM me. DM me. And
yeah, any woman that has sat through this whole thing is the type of woman you want.
oh yeah.
For sure. Because
yeah.
they're like, they're smart enough to understand they need to do real estate.
Yeah.
And they're also smart enough to try to pick things up in these conversations to implement and learn.
Yeah. And they're patient enough to wait till hour and 10 minutes into it.
Yeah. But yeah, I think because some people are going to listen to this and they're like, well, I want to talk about real estate. But all of this to me translates back to real estate.
Yeah.
The social media, the buying businesses, the real estate, even the single thing, because my career significantly blew up when I found my wife. I started making more money when I met my wife.
Didn't you meet your wife when you were 19?
No. I had my first kid at 19.
Oh.
Yeah, I had my first kid with a girlfriend when I was 19.
Okay.
That's not my wife.
Okay.
Yeah, so, but when I met my wife, I started making more real estate because my sense of responsibility went up.
And you know that you can come back home and you know that there's a sense of stability.
There's a sense of, yeah, I'm out looking for a girlfriend and
Yeah.
looking for, romance.
The amount of brain energy that it takes for me just thinking about girls, like on the day-to-day basis.
Why don't you just get a girlfriend?
Well, I don't know.
What is it?
Commitment issues.
Okay.
Yeah. Also, like I'm going to New York. Like
Okay.
I don't want to.
You're going to marry like a Puerto Rican or like a Dominican or something like that.
Well, for sure, yeah. I like something like that. Like
Yeah.
yeah. But yeah, like it takes so much mental energy. Just
So
like
why even deal with
just
it?
walk around New York, just be beautiful women.
So why even deal with it? Why don't you just like,
Well, because I haven't had my fun yet,
okay.
or at least I think I did. Or
Yeah.
at least I think I didn't.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, I wanna have a lot of experience before I settle down. Because once you have
Are you trying to sleep around? Is that what you're trying to do?
No, I mean that's what I'm saying. Just like
Okay.
more have more have experience diverse, like more diverse people. You know.
Okay.
You know you don't.
To me, it sounds like you're trying to sleep around. That's what
Okay. Well, like okay. Well, no. Yes. Yes and no. But I just can't be seen as that kind of a guy. You know.
Yeah, I mean, it is what it is, but I think I can say that I've done that lifestyle, and it's not. I feel like you're gonna do it, and then you're gonna be like, "Oh, this is empty."
Yeah. I can already see it.
Yeah. So I feel like if you find the right girl, you should not let her go because then you're gonna regret it.
I think, but also the thing is, like, I'm like, I'd much rather find out like in person, like regret it. Like, you know how the thing about with the cash flow, it's like, oh, you know, cash flow is not real, and you've been preaching it for years, and like I came to it after the fact that I built a portfolio.
Yeah.
I'm like, I'd much rather find out that I missed out than than
God.
having somebody tell me like, hey, you're gonna miss out.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Well, I know I met my wife when I was 25, and I knew right away. I was like, I can't let this go.
Really?
Yeah. So I gave up the party life for my wife. I was like bro, I barely started making money, and I met my wife.
You're making 30 grand.
No, but I started real estate and then met my wife.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So like I was making 30 grand, and then I got into real estate, and then I met my wife. Like it was literally like my pipeline was building. I met my wife, and then I made like 150K the next 6 months after I met my wife.
Oh, that's what Pace has been telling me too. If you find the right woman, you make a lot of money.
That's what I'm saying. What happened was a couple things. One, all that time you spend like thinking about girls and going out for girls and all this crap, all that clears up.
Yeah.
Because now you have a girl. And then also my wife I felt like I had to provide for her. So I was like, I got to make money.
Right.
Like in a healthy way. Like I got to make money because I got to buy us a house. Like where the hell are we going to leave? She doesn't work. I got to do this.
Yeah.
So like that happened. And then also like I stopped smoking weed because my wife didn't smoke weed. So I didn't want to be like this weirdo that was like smoking weed and my wife is like sober. So like a bunch of things happened at the same time where I was like, okay, I got to like clean up. And then I think that's what helped me. So just if you find the right girl, okay, let's talk about the right girl. So this is what I think you need. Number one, Hispanic.
Hold on. Let me take notes real quick. So
okay, so
okay,
I'm not saying all races are great.
Number
Hispanic,
one.
number one.
Hispanic number
one.
Number why is that?
Dude, I don't know. Well, for me personally, I had to marry a Hispanic because I'm Hispanic. Okay. And I like the culture. I like the food. I like the language. I personally wanted that culture for my kids. Personally.
I think the girl I would date would be Hispanic, but I think the girl I would end up marrying would be some sort of Asian girl.
Okay.
Yeah.
We'll see.
Hispanic, okay.
Number two. Hispanic. Okay, this was actually number one. Number one they have to be Christian.
Oh yeah.
But like legit Christian.
Yes.
So okay, there's 4 F's. I'm gonna teach you the 4 F's. I preach this to all the team members here.
4F, okay. Hold on.
4 F's. These are the things that you need to have in place in order to make sure they're the right person to marry.
Okay.
So number 1 is going to be finances.
Finances. Like
okay.
They have to have money?
No, that's a great question. You guys have to be on the same page what your finances are going to look like. So what happens is you start dating someone, you pay for everything, right? You pay for everything because you're in love. It's all fun. You're paying for everything. And then later you're like, man, she never offers to pay for anything. She doesn't even care about money. Like she's not even trying to hustle. And then they start resenting the other person. But in the beginning, you weren't paying attention to their financial habits.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So if they're not going to work, and in their mind, I'm not going to work, Kevin's going to take care of me. You need to know that in the beginning. Right. Or if they're like, I'm going to work, you're never going to take care of me, I'm going to work, then you have to be okay with that.
Right. Okay.
But finances, the number one leader of divorce is finances.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. People think it's fighting, but the fighting usually stems from finances. So you need to financially be on the same page with like, okay, do they spend a lot? Are they a spender? When they get access to your money, are they going to be buying Gucci bags and all that crap? And are you okay with that? It's okay. You know, you have to be okay. So I knew with my wife told me straight up, like, hey, I want to be a stay-at-home wife. That means she ain't working. Like, she had no plans or ambitions to work ever.
Oh, that's awesome.
Well, yeah. I mean, it depends. If you're a man that's willing to do that,
Yeah.
then it is awesome. If you're not, then you can't get pissed later when you're like, hey, babe, like, help me out, dude. You know, it's getting hard. And they're like, no, I don't really want to. You can't get mad.
But she's like a full-time mom though.
She's a full-time mom, yeah. But we came into it understanding what the roles were. Me and her did have problems with finances a little bit because she spends. Like, I'm not a big spender. Like, I don't buy a bunch of crap. She will buy some crap. So I had to like be like, hey, like, just so you know, like, you got to stop doing that. So we did have that, but finance is the big.
Okay.
Next is going to be faith. So there's 4 F's. So you need to make sure that you guys are on the same page with faith. In the beginning, people don't care because you're lusting, you're having fun, you're going out. But at the end of the day, you're trying to have kids and all that stuff. And then if your wife is one religion or your girlfriend's one religion and you're a different religion, that's okay. But you need to be on the same page with what is that going to look like?
Yeah.
So like I've seen couples, they get together, one's Muslim, one's Christian, everything's great. But eventually the Christian's like, hey, like I want you to be Christian. And the Muslim's like, no, I don't want to.
Yeah.
And that ends up being a problem. You know what I'm saying?
Faith, yeah.
Or when you have kids, it's like, okay, are your kids going to be Christian? Do you want them to be Jewish? Do you want them to be XYZ? You know, how often, if they're both Christian, how Christian do you want each other to be? Like, are you trying to go to church every Sunday? Is one person willing to go or one person's not willing to go every Sunday? Like, what is that really going to look like?
Right.
So faith, finances. Next is family. So, you know, there's like finances is always a problem. And then another problem sometimes is like, do they have kids? And are you now is she planning for you to be the stepdad? Or are you planning to be more like, hey, like, you know, that's the dad's responsibility. I'm just here to support.
Yeah. I wouldn't even want it. I don't think I can ever be a stepdad.
Okay. Well, then at least you have clarity on that.
Yeah.
Some people don't have clarity and then they get a girlfriend with a kid and then they're like, oh, I don't want to really deal with this.
No step. No. But then, is it also a thing where like, okay, well, it's Christmas. Are we going to your family's house or my?
Yeah.
House?
So the next was kids fall under the family. The next is like the parents-in-law. Like,
in-laws.
You know, in-laws. Like, are your in-laws going to be okay with her? Are her in-laws going to be okay with you? Is that going to be drama? Is she, if you meet her in New York and she's like, hey, I have to be around my parents. I won't leave. And then you get to the point where you're like, hey, I want to leave. That's a family issue. Like, you're on the same page. Like, hey, if I want to move, we're going to move. With Jessica, she wanted to stay with her parents. And I was like, dude, I want to move. Like, I'm kind of tired of, I don't care. You know what I'm saying? Like, I love your parents, but I want to move to Vegas.
Right.
And that was like an issue that we had to work through. But just knowing these things in the beginning, like, hey, like, just so you know, like, your parents live here. Are they going to be okay with me? Are they going to accept me for who I am, my religion, my things? So family is another one. Next is finances. Oh, I'm sorry. No, finances. So finances, faith, family, friends.
Oh, friends.
So a lot of people will fight like, oh, you know, my friends don't like me. Your friends don't like me. You know, you think you need to get better friends. She thinks you need to get better friends. But so that's like something that you should be on the same page about. It's not as big as the other ones.
Yeah.
And then the last one is fitness. So does the person you're dating take care of their health the way you want your health to be taken care of?
Yeah.
Have you dealt with that yet?
I don't think I've personally dealt with it. And honestly, it's not that big of a deal.
Yeah.
For me, at least, you know, like, yeah, like as long as they're not like, all right, McDonald's every day. Like,
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying.
But I could see that being a problem like down the road.
Down the road, yeah. Because if, again, it goes into expectations. If you're hoping one day to have a wife that can cook you a meal and cook the kids a meal and takes care of herself, like, and then you're dating someone in their early 20s that they don't cook, they eat like crap, but they're in their early 20s, you know what I'm saying? They're not going to gain a bunch of weight, but later on it will be a problem.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So just making sure they have the fitness health that you're looking for, or like they like to work out and you don't, you know what I'm saying? Are you okay with that? But yeah, those are just like the 5 F's.
Okay. Got it. The next time, in a year or whenever the next time is, I come back on this podcast, I'll be like, you know what, Brian?
Let's talk about the next 3 months.
Okay.
That'll be the last thing. So right now we're filming this. It's literally the first day of the 4th quarter of this year.
Yeah.
Now I kind of break up my years into quarters. I kind of make big decisions at the quarters. What do you want this quarter to look like? What are your goals and stuff for this quarter?
I want this quarter to be of settling between all the transitions and figuring out where my business will be, because I'm still in the process of moving and things like that. So I don't think that's gonna take me a whole quarter, but probably like by the end of this month, I'll be settled in, knowing exactly what I'm going to be doing, and then second, and then end of the quarter, just having more fun in New York.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so we can go through an exercise, and the listeners could go through this exercise together.
Okay.
Right? So wealth, right, is an acronym.
Right.
So it's like worship, education, affluence, lifestyle, team, and health. So we'll go through every quarter. I try to like have a goal for each.
Okay. Right.
So, wealth starts with worship, right? So that's your relationship with God.
Right.
So what is like your worship goal for the 4th quarter?
Find a church.
Okay, that's a good goal.
Find a new church.
That's a good goal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And not miss a week, because I think I missed for almost 6 weeks now with all the traveling.
Dang.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, it's hard too when you're traveling, because it's not like you're just at your home.
Yeah, I'm just not home. Yeah.
Yeah. So find a church.
Find a new church and a community.
In a community.
Okay.
Anything else for worship?
Never miss out on a morning Bible reading.
Okay.
Like I've been good at it, but set like everyday morning Bible reading session.
What part of the Bible are you reading right now?
I was reading John.
Okay.
Yeah. Because they're easier to understand without having to know the whole. Like I feel like the New Testaments are a lot easier to understand without having to know the whole context and the history behind it.
Yeah.
Like there's enough context just within the text, just within the chapter alone. So
can I give you like a quick Bible study tip?
Yeah.
Okay, so the Bible. All right, so the Bible's broken up into 2 pieces, right? There's the Old Testament and the New Testament, right? The Old Law and the New Law, right? The New Testament is also broken up into 2 parts. Did you know that?
No, I did not.
It's called the Gospels and then the Epistles.
Okay.
So the Gospels are Matthew, Mark, Luke, John, kind of Acts.
Okay.
What
really?
Is Acts called the Gospel, or what is Acts called? Or is it an epistle?
I thought the Gospel was only 4.
It is 4, but Acts is kind of like a breakdown of what happens after John.
Okay.
So Acts technically would be like John 2. No, wait, Luke 2. Right? So you could change the word Acts with Luke 2.
Okay.
So Matthew, Mark, Luke, John, right?
Okay.
And then Acts. I would put them in the same bucket.
Okay.
Right? So all of those are the story of Jesus.
Okay.
Right? His life, his birth, his resurrection. Right? We're getting complex a little bit. But New Testament, 2 parts. Okay. Gospels, Jesus' story. The next are the epistles. So that's Corinthians, Philippians, all those 1 John, Hebrews, all those other things, they're called epistles. And those are just letters.
Letters, okay.
So gospel means good news. Epistle means letter. So like when you read some of the epistles, it's going to say Paul, a servant of Jesus Christ. Da, 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 da. That means Paul's writing the letter. So it's just a letter to a church.
Yeah.
The epistles, you could read an epistle in like 15 to 20 minutes. They're short. And the whole thing is, all the context is there.
Right, right.
So it doesn't feed off each other.
Okay.
Do you get what I'm saying?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So when you're reading the New Testament, you should just know, am I reading a gospel? Am I reading an epistle?
Okay.
Yeah. I like to read an epistle almost every day because they're short.
And
So
yeah.
you have the whole context.
Right.
It's not like a 5-part story. It's just like the letter to the Philippians.
Right.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, I like that.
Yeah. So, yeah, I try to read an epistle every day.
Okay.
What else? Anything else for worship?
Find a new church community. I think that's it for now.
Yeah. For me, I would say the fourth quarter, I want to finish reading the New Testament. So I'm like,
really?
Yeah, I want to finish reading the New Testament. I've been trying to read the whole New Testament.
Okay.
So finish the New Testament. That's mine. And we're doing this the first day of the quarter. So it's almost perfect timing.
Oh, yeah.
So next is E, education.
Okay.
So what do you want to get educated on in the fourth quarter or this next quarter?
Monetizing affiliates.
Okay.
So like I want to get educated on that, on how people get monetize their affiliates, and monetizing on audience. Sorry, monetizing on audience.
Okay. Who do you think can teach you that? Is there like an educational program that teaches that?
No, but Pace has been teaching me.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
So just being more like clear on like schedule of education. Is there any other consultants that you could hire or work with?
Yeah, like I actually haven't paid for any mentorship in a long time, but there's a guy I want to pay for his mentorship. He does multifamily, but all seller finance.
Oh, that's
So
good.
like his
Who is he? I might have him on my podcast.
Oh, Christian Osgood,
Where is he from?
Washington.
Oh, okay.
He's been on Bigger Pockets.
Oh, really?
You know Cody Davis?
Cody Davis.
He had an episode on podcast, Bigger Podcasts, got almost a couple million views. 79 units at age 19 or something.
Oh, okay.
It's his partner.
Oh, okay, got it.
Yeah.
Okay.
I had it on my
I
podcast.
maybe had them on the podcast already. Christian.
Yeah.
One of them's a little bit older and one's
Yeah.
younger. I think I did a podcast with them.
Yeah, Christian and Cody.
I think I did, and I think we lost the footage or some got messed up.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yeah, well, Christian's... I had him on my podcast. I can connect you guys.
Yeah, I'll see if we're talking about the same person.
Okay.
But, okay, anything else on education?
No.
Okay, next is affluence, which is just like money.
Okay.
So what's your money goal for the fourth quarter? And anyone listening to this, you guys go back and do this with us at the same time.
I think I can... Considering that I have a workshop coming up, I think I can clear 100 grand in quarter 4.
Okay, so 100K in the quarter 4.
Okay. Yeah.
And how are you going to do that?
But about 60 grand. Like
Workshop?
20 grand a month on my wholesale business. So 60 grand. And then I can easily fill in probably another 15 grand from affiliates. And then probably 40, 50 grand on workshop.
Okay.
Pretty easy.
So it's like 110.
120.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. But 100 grand in quarter 4.
Four.
Yeah.
Okay. Next is team.
No, it's L.
No, sorry, lifestyle.
Okay.
So like lifestyle wise, what do you want to do?
I want to not work on the weekends.
Okay.
Just in quarter 4.
Okay. That's good.
Because if I don't tell myself, because I'm like going to New York just for a little bit more fun.
Yeah.
Like if I was in Phoenix, like I know that like my season in Phoenix is straight work, so like I've always worked on the weekends when I was in Phoenix. But New York, I want to take weekends off.
Okay.
Cook. Learn how to cook.
Okay.
I have this thing where I'm buying a cookbook. I ordered one. And then like I want to be able to know how to cook everything on the cookbook after like a certain time.
Okay.
So
What kind of food is it?
it's just I don't think it's a type of food, but it was like it's just chef.
Okay.
That made a,
Oh, okay.
yeah. What's T?
T is team. So that's like your friends, your family, your parents. Like, what are your goals with them?
Family and friends and team. What would it be like? Would it be like settle that, like find a girlfriend by that time?
Yeah, it could be whatever. So for me, like, I think my last team was I wanted to like visit my mom at least twice a month because sometimes I just wouldn't visit her.
Yeah.
I wanted to take my kids on a vacation, but this month or this quarter, so my team goal is I'm trying to take my kids to school every day. I want to do homework with them every day instead of my wife. And I want to, those are like the two main goals. I want to take my kids to school every day. So I'll get here a little bit later, but I took them to school and I want to be the one to do their homework with them, not my wife. Yeah. So that's my goal right now.
I think for me it would be like settle down with a girlfriend.
Okay. So you want a girlfriend. You don't want to party too much.
I mean, now that you say it, after
If you're trying to make more money, I mean, you got to do what you
yeah,
gotta do.
yeah. I got a complete A.
Yeah. There we go.
Yeah. What's H? Health?
Health.
Yeah, 6-pack. Easy. I've never had a 6-pack in my life. I've gotten really close to it, but like I've never had one.
Okay. Let's do a challenge right now. If you don't get a 6-pack, you got to give me $1,000
By the end of
the year.
I think I can actually get a 6-pack. But if let's do that. Yeah, let's do that. Let's
Okay. All right. It's hey. If I'm gonna post this, I'm gonna post this. You're gonna pay me $1,000.
Yeah, I think 3 months is plenty of time, right?
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
'Cause
Are
I'm
you working
like-
out at all or no?
Yeah, I do. Well, before I was traveling, hot yoga at least 3 or 4 times a week.
That's not really working out.
Brianna, did you hear this? You never. Hot yoga is so much harder than working out.
I know, but I think to get a 6-pack, you have to get your body fat percentage down. I don't know if hot yoga is doing that.
Oh, I guess. Okay. Well, I did. I used to work out like 3 or 4 times a week too.
Okay, that's good.
So like,
Are you eating good?
Decently.
Okay, that's good.
Yeah. Like I don't have a good like meal plan, but like I just eat all organic when I'm going to the gym, like steak and avocados.
Okay,
Like
that's good.
Like one ingredient whole food kind of thing. So like I think 3 months is a very
Okay, so 6-pack in 3 months.
6-pack in 3 months. Yeah.
Okay, I'll say a 6-pack in 3 months for me too. If I don't do it, I'm gonna give you $1,000.
You will give me $1,000 if you don't get one.
Yeah, we're both. Yeah,
Yeah. All right.
yeah. I can't just bet you. I gotta
okay.
commit.
Yeah, you'll be easy. I think you'll be easier. You had 6
Why? Because
months.
I'm black? Is that
No,
what you're saying?
no. That's not what I said.
That's racist, dude.
No, I think because you had it before.
I've had it before, yeah, but when I was like early, I had 6-pack when I was 30, because right before I turned 30, I was like, I need to get in really good health, and I got in good shape when I was 30.
I was so close to getting a 6-pack when I did a 7-day fast.
Dang,
I fasted for 7 days the first week of January.
jeez, that's brutal.
It was awesome. It felt great.
I need to do a fast right now.
No, I'm going to eat after this.
No, I'm just saying in general. Like
Oh,
I need
yeah.
to do a fast
Yeah.
soon.
Okay.
But
Yeah.
Anything else you want to cover before we wrap up?
No, I think this is good.
This is a great podcast.
Yeah.
If people want to find you, we're going to put the link of your social media in the description of this video.
Yes.
But anyone listening on Apple or Spotify, if they want to find you, where do they go?
Go to the Kevin Choe on Instagram.
Beautiful.
THE Kevin Choe CHOE.
Beautiful. All right, guys. This was the Wealthy Investor Podcast. If you haven't subscribed, peace.